Besides domain and range and intervals of increase and decrease and maximum and minimum values, remember we can use a function to find other values as well. So if we remember function notation, when it says f of f of 1, remember that means that x is 1. To find that value, we would find x equals 1, trace up, trace over, and find out that when x is 1, the function's value is 2. When x is negative 2, we can trace up and trace over and identify that the graph's value is 4.3, wasn't it? At the function at a value, x value of 2, we can trace up, we can trace over, and that would be a value of y equals 3. Evaluating the function can be for the other variable as well, to find when the function equals 2. Remember, that's f of x is always replaced by y equals, so that's saying y equals 2. That would mean we could trace over, trace down, and give the function's value, which is x equals 1. But there's a second piece, so we can also trace over to this piece and trace down. And x could also be negative 1.4. And lastly, one more time, if f of x is equal to 2, if f of x is equal to 1.5, we can trace over to both sections and get our two respective x values. X can be 0.5, or x can be negative 1.3. Okay, so here's another graph, and we can do the same thing again. Remember, f of 0, that would mean make x be 0. So if we're looking at the function for 0, we'll find out it's crossing right there at negative 1.5. When f of x equals 5, so y equals 5, we can find where the function intersects, which is right here, at 2. Find all x-intercepts of the function. X-intercepts are the places where the function crosses the x-axis. There are 3 of them for this graph. 1, 0, negative 2, 0, and negative 3, 0. And find all zeros of the function. Remember that zeros are x values, which cause the function to equal 0. So they're similar to the x-intercepts, but instead of points, they're just the x values. So we would say x equals 1 would cause the function to equal 0, x equals negative 2, and x equals negative 3 are the x values which make the function equal 0.